Okay, so I've got a new type of video today, and that is that I've got a travel story for you all. So, I recently went to Germany, and it was a very eventful trip. We bumped into Munich Pride, just joined in and seshed for 15 hours, and we also climbed Germany's biggest mountain. And overall, a lot of interesting, funny, and bizarre things happened. Thing is, though, this video is not about any of those events. This video is about Todd Howard's unholy influence stretching far further than it has any right to. So, our story begins at an evening at the youth hostel that we were staying at. And like any evening at the hostel, everybody is around the campfire drinking. The thing is that I can't drink as much as I'd like to because over the past few days, I've already ruined my liver. And then also, there's the small issue of the following morning, I have to get up at 6 a.m. to climb a very big mountain. And as well as this, I was just completely socially exhausted from the past few days of being on the go nonstop with no time to myself. And usually on these kinds of shorter trips, I just push straight through it, right? Like, I take the attitude, I've only got a bit of time in this cool place, so we're going to do everything, go all the time, and then I'll just decompress when I'm home. But despite that, I really wasn't feeling good. So I excused myself quite early from the campfire to just go pack my bags for the mountain and then have a bit of time to myself before I go to bed. But then I realized that my usual strategy of just not dealing with the social exhaustion wasn't really going to work because as I'm headed back to the dormitory at the hostel, I have the first panic attack of my life. And it was pretty scary, but through all of this hyperventilating and crying, I just kind of felt as if the best thing that I could do was just push through it, make sure that my bag gets packed, and then get some sleep because I knew that I really didn't want to be up earlier than I already am the following morning to pack, and the longer I took, the less sleep I'd get. And so that's how I end up there, sat on the floor of the hostel, packing my bags with all my shit strewn around me in a very disheveled state and having clearly just been crying. And we've got the odd person that's passing by, but quite understandably, they're all giving me, in my weird ass state, quite a wide berth. But that's when I hear it. There's a, "Hi, what have you been doing today?" in a very thick German accent that I won't even try to emulate. And I look up like a startled possum, and I see a woman of maybe 45 years old, there or thereabouts. And so why she was in this youth hostel for 18 to 30-year-olds, I don't know. But I don't really think about that too hard in my brain's fucked up, barely functional state. My mindset just changed from contain panic attack so I can pack my bags to contain panic attack so that I can speak to this strange woman. And I say something like, yeah, it's been quite a quiet day. Yesterday was Munich Pride, we're very hungover, so just been recovering, then I'm doing the mountain tomorrow. I say this, and uncomprehending eyes look back at me vacantly. And in response, I'm given, "Have you been to Nymphenburg Schloss?" Which, for context, is a nearby palace-y type thing. And so, no, I just told her what I've been doing, but she clearly didn't care what I had to say. She just had to ask that question anyway, right? No follow-up questions, nothing indicating that she even heard what I said. She'd just been programmed with her line of dialogue, and she had no choice but to say it. And I don't remember the rest of it verbatim, but she just keeps talking about this damn palace. She asked me if I know where it is, she asked me if I intend to go to it, and through all of this, she seems to be completely oblivious to me being mid-panic attack, or even that I was focused on packing my bag rather than talking to randomers. And I eventually just go to her, "I'm gonna finish packing now, have a good night." And I didn't look back up at her as she left. Don't know where she disappeared to, but chances are she just clipped through the lockers. But I call her an Oblivion NPC because the context of what I was doing didn't matter in the slightest. She was always going to just say her 4 lines of dialogue, and my panic attack didn't change that in the slightest. And yes, there might have been a language barrier, but I really feel as if very obvious panic attack doesn't require that much of a grasp on the English language. There was no, "Are you okay?" Not anything like that. It was just straight into the Schloss. I could have been dead. I could have been just stood there having a wank in the open. She'd have said the exact same thing about her Schloss, with the single-mindedness of a courier bringing you your letter as you emerge from a dungeon covered in blood and lugging dozens of sets of armor to flog in the nearest town. So that was a weird experience. Thank you for watching, and may your lives remain ever free of the evil influence of Todd Howard.